Any questions before we get started? We're gonna cover a pretty important topic, and I'm gonna get a little serious with you. Nothing too intense, but one thing we need to address, and it's a question that I get often, is why balance? All right, and my answer to that to a lot of kids is, if Steve Jobs had balance in his life, would we have the iPhone? You know, and when it comes to our physical balance, we need to be unstable in order to be stable, all right? And why is that? What is the purpose of that? How is that going to make our balance better, all right? And so we're going to talk about the British Journal of Sports Medicine in the recent study. You guys have heard me talk about this ad nauseum, stated that they found if you cannot stand on one foot for 10 seconds or longer, your life longevity is no more than 10 years or less. All right, and I will tell you this, if you have a significant fall, you know someone that is experienced in a significant fall, and we're defining that as a broken bone, be it shoulder, hip, leg, arm. Most of the time these guys are gone, they pass away in 2 years. Right? That's about the cap. If you talk to some of the doctors, Dr. Khan told me his patients, what he sees is a lot of these guys are gone in 6 months, right? And there's several reasons for that. I'm not going to get into that. But what I do want to talk about is your motivation. Baby boomers didn't grow up with fitness being a priority like we did, right? The priorities were not only to go to work and work hard and put in the 40-hour week and take care of the family. Same priorities still exist today. But the difference when it comes to fitness, when you look at the baby boomer generation, who was working out then, right? A lot of time it was military, recreational athletes, and you had a few gyms. You have a few recreational gyms. But if you look at millennials, I'm a millennial, believe it or not. If you look at our generation, we took fitness and it became a sport, right? With CrossFit and some of these other gyms, it became more part interwoven of our lives. And then with the onset of Instagram and social media, everyone's an expert in fitness, right? And my opinion on that is, if you don't look great when you're 20 to 25, what's wrong with you, right? I mean, looking at social media, research tells us that 80% of information given out on social media is bad or wrong information. So what I want to stress to you is finding those times in your day to be motivated. When it comes to balance, being stable is a good thing, but you have to be unstable. And the reason for that is to train the brain like you would train it learning a new language. If I can stand on one foot and I can be stable but unstable, right? I'm having to work, but I'm also efficient. I can do this. I don't want to be in a position where I'm constantly having to put my foot down, because that interrupts signals going to my brain. You have all these receptors at the bottom of our feet, in our legs, and you have your vestibular system that are going to send signals to tell you to shift left or shift right before you cross that threshold. That threshold is that falling threshold, right? So right now I am working and I'm getting all that data and I'm shifting so I stay in the center and I don't get too far to the right or too far to the left and cross that threshold. If I do, I've got to put my foot down or I fall. What is happening is your brain is memorizing the position you need to be in order to stay balanced. Just like learning a foreign language. The more we do this, the better we get. Does that make sense? All right, very good. Now, with that, it's not about longevity, it's about quality of longevity, all right? So make sure you guys heard me preach this. Find times in your day to take advantage and practice. Standing on one foot is a great way to help improve your balance, okay? And I'll give you your homework at the end of class, all right? With that, let's stand. Let's get on with the assessments. All right, lively group this morning. I'm going to have to ask you guys to calm down. All right, pump the brakes there. All right, let's start with our feet hip width apart.